Under. But he's come out here, it's a family occasion, that's what rugby league is all about these days, and he's come out here to see a great game. We hope these two sides will provide it. Let's take a check on the Hull lineup first of all. Richard Gay is the fullback, he wears one. On the wing it's Paul Eastwood, Great Britain international, and he is in two, one try for 100 for this club. In the centre, it's Gary Nolan, and he will wear three. Partnering him is Paul Harrison, younger brother of Carl, who of course these days plays for Halifax. On the wing, Roy Simmons has made a change. Andrew Mighty comes in, the former Fulham man, joined Hull in 1989. The former North, Balmain and Canberra star, Scott Gale, is the standoff, wearing 6. And Gary Nolan's younger brother Rob is the scrum half, he'll wear 7. Up front they have a formidable pack, led by Andy Dannett, the prop forward, in 8. Mike Dixon takes over from Lee Jackson. Jackson is absolutely exhausted after the Australian tour, and he's being sent for tests to the hospital this week. Completing the front row is Ian Marlowe, 29 years old, Welsh international. In the second row it's Steve McNamara, a Great Britain tourist who's 21 years old today. And the club captain, Russ Walker, number 12, completes the second row lineup, captain of Cumbria as well, for whom he's won 4 caps. And John Sharp is the loose forward, he wears 13, he passed 150 appearances for Hull against Wigan. And the coach is Roy Simmons, formerly with Penrith, 2 tries of course in last year's grand final for him. The Warrington supporters have made the long trip along the length of the M62 to be here, and they will be cheering on their team tonight, playing in their change strip of red and green. This is the Warrington lineup. David Lyon is staying away, Robert Myler comes in, Rocky Turner is out with a hamstring strain, Myler is the fullback. Neil Kenyon wears 2, he's a flying winger, only 24, and alongside him Chris Rudd, 2 tries for him this season, he'll probably take the goal kicks too. Welsh international Alan Bateman is his centre partner, he wears 4, and Rick Thackeray is back in the Warrington side. He is having his second spell after we thought at one stage injury had finished his career. What a night for the number 6 of Warrington, Greg Mackey, returning to Humberside and the club he graced for the past couple of seasons. Forming a new half-back partnership for Warrington with Kevin Ellis, the Great Britain international, in 7. Up front, Neil Harmon, he was sent off last week. Disciplinary committee yesterday said sending off sufficient. He takes his place tonight. Alongside him, the hooker, Dwayne Mann, one of the unsung heroes of this Warrington side, always consistent, Dwayne Mann in 9. Completing the front row, the prop forward wearing 10 is Phil Sumner, who's come up through the Warrington junior ranks. In 11, it's Gary Sanderson, a try on the opening day against Lee. It was his first for 4 years. The club captain is Bob Jackson, the Australian, who played with Roy Simmons for Penrith in the 80s. And completing the lineup, the loose forward, Paul Cullen, longest serving player on the Warrington books, joined well over 10 years ago. And the coach, the Australian connection, Brian Johnson.
News for you about Graham Hallas, perhaps the hottest prospect on the transfer market at the moment. Hull have confirmed today they're just waiting for a decision on their bid. They've put into Hawkinston Rovers, so Graham Hallas could have his future decided for him this weekend. A decision is expected soon, but there are 3 other English clubs and 2 other Australians who are waiting. Other news from down here is of the substitutes for tonight's game. Hull against Warrington. Hull subs Dean Busby and Craig O'Donnell, 2 forwards. Warrington's are back in Mark Forster and a forward in Basil Richards.
Big night for Greg Mackey. Wonder what thoughts are going through his mind. Played here with such distinction for Hull. Back now for a second spell at Warrington. And Mike, as we said earlier, it really is a big night for this fella.
Yes, Greg Mackey really is a workhorse. He's a man that will make the Warrington side tick. And I'm sure that as the season progresses, his combination with Kevin Ellis will certainly see Warrington in the higher part of the First Division. But it's going to be tough for him tonight because this Hull side will be keen to close him down.
He'll know the way Hull will play. And there is Mike Dixon, Great Britain under-21 international against Papua New Guinea last season. 20 appearances, 16 as a sub last season. His first full game of this particular campaign tonight. Lee Jackson, as I say, feeling exhausted. But Dixon will be getting his chance and grabbing it with both hands. They call him the Mighty Atom in the Hull dressing room. And the referee is John Connolly from Wigan, and his twin brother Robert is also a big league referee. We're just about ready then. The two sides will change ends. So Warrington will be attacking as we watch from left to right in their change strip tonight of red and green. It's the irregular black and white hoops of the men from Humberside. John Connolly just having a word with Bob Jackson, the Warrington captain. And Jackson just wants clarification again of a rule or two, perhaps. Jackson then's wound the men up. We're live and exclusive on Sky Sports. The big league's back in business, and Warrington get this match underway. Big driving run from their own posts by Marlowe. Ross Walker feeling the full weight of that challenge, Jackson and Cullen. That's McNamara now. Another Great Britain tourist on Humberside. Dixon was the dummy half.
Well, I expected the opening minutes to be tough, and it certainly is.
The Warrington pack will try and get on top of their Hull counterparts if they can. That was Scott Gale's kick downfield.
Well, the Warrington pack realised that if they don't keep going forward, Greg Mackey and Kevin Ellis will get no opportunities, and holding down, that's the first penalty of the game.
Yes, Marlowe all over the fullback, Robert Myler. And so that was why referee John Connolly blew the whistle. But a big mistake from Warrington. They don't find touch, and they've given it straight to Paul Eastwood, the Great Britain winger. One try from a century of touchdowns for the club, and moving off the mark is the referee's decision.
Well, you could see in the replay, John Connolly, the referee, saw that. There he saw the Warrington player. It's Gary Sanderson that just, well, never made any attempt. You're supposed to stand right in front. You cannot move away until the ball has been played back with the foot or forward.
That's a better penalty, this time from Hull and Scott Gale. Here they come now with Dannett. Dixon is the dummy half. Marlowe's the runner. Oh, he's got some pace. He's got some power, the big prop forward. Now McNamara. Good tackling, though, from Jackson. And what's more, the tackle was so fierce that Cullen managed to get the loose ball.
Oh, this was crunch time, wasn't it? Cullen was a beautiful tackle there. The ball just came clean.
Neil Harmony has the great presence of mind to find Bateman. Bateman showing a clean pair of heels to everyone except Richard Gay. Gay letting Bateman get to his feet eventually. This is Ellis. Now Mackey. Whoa, he was hit late by Gale. Managed to get the pass to Cullen. Warrington still in possession. There's Sumner. It's the last one. Warrington will hoist the bomb. Here now with Mackey. Hull closed him down. That was great play, great defence. But the referee's decision to knock on.
Well, I can't believe that. It was a charge down. He's got him for offside. That's the only thing that I could think of.
No, his signal was a knock on.
Well, it never touched the floor. The only thing he can give is a penalty.
Well, he's given the scrum, and Warrington have got possession from that scrum. They've got 6 more here. Mann going on his own on the blind side. Little chip over the top from Mann. That's good play by the fullback.
Well, was he tackled first? The referee says play on. Now that is good refereeing. He was dragged in there. Instead of giving the penalty, he said get on with it. That's what I like to see. But that was a wasted kick there by the hooker, Dwayne Mann. That was on the second tackle.
Hull have surrendered possession now to Warrington, right in front of the sticks. Mackey, long pass from him. Bateman takes it over. Eastwood all round Bateman. Mackey and Jackson. Dwayne Mann. Back to Sumner. Good defence, Hull. That's what the Australian game's based on, of course. Strong defence. They'll have to be good here, though. That's a great driving run from Sanderson. Warrington inching their way towards the line. They'll try and spread it here. Great try! Mackey's kick across the field. Kenyon touches down. I don't think it's been allowed. No try. Bounce ball. Kenyon can't believe it.
And neither can I. We'll see on the replay clearly. What a wonderful kick here by Mackey. That was a try. Greg Mackey, a wonderful little kick through. The grubber was near perfection. And I'm not surprised that Kenyon is upset. That was a try.
Well, it was. Referee Connolly spoke to his touch judge. The touch judge shook his head, and Warrington will be shaking their heads when they see that on replay. Warrington denied a try, no question about it.
Well, a little bit of controversy already in this game. There we see Andy Dennett. Did he lose it? I'll leave you to decide. The referee said that he'd lost it. But Warrington will be seething over that one.
12 months ago, Warrington had a try disallowed here by Des Drummond. He was judged not to have grounded it properly. I think the referee that night was absolutely right, but our replay, Mike, proves conclusively Kenyon touched that down cleanly.
My word, but you can't blame the referee. He looked for assistance from the touch judge. The touch judge shook his head. No, he said.
And a big welcome to the Boulevard to our friends in New Zealand on the Sky Television network over there. This match going out live at 6:30 in the morning. A very good morning to you down under. Hope you're enjoying British Rugby League in the big league as Mackey tries to conjure something up again for Warrington. And the referee says that's no knock-on. Well, he says a Hull player got a foot to it and he's given Warrington 6 more.
Well, if you're a little bit sleepy in New Zealand, I can assure you this will wake you up. This is a ferocious pace.
They're going at each other hammer and tongs here, aren't they? Dwayne Mann, Bob Jackson now sees a little gap, tries to lay the ball off. Oh, there's a mistake. Kenyon again, the danger man.
Well, Jackson trying to get this ball away. And you can see Hull that at 6s and 7s, McNamara makes a meal of it. Now, is that a knock-on? He could have given offside there also. Oh, it's all happening.
Well, it's Hull's feet at the scrum. All square the handling errors. But a match that is being played at a pace like this, the errors will come, I think, thick and fast.
Well, I've always thought that rugby league is weird and wonderful, and we've had plenty of that in the opening minutes.
Plenty to talk about already on the big league tonight. Just over 7.5 minutes gone. Gale with the kick downfield. Judged to perfection. Quite brilliant.
Oh, lovely kick by Gale, and really, he's the only player on the paddock so far that's used a bit of common sense. Everyone else had been going 100 miles an hour.
Scott Gale, formerly with Norths, Balmain and Canberra. He faced the British Lions on the summer tour when he played in Canberra's colours. Ellis with the feed for Warrington. Ellis gets possession for them. Mackey, referee, whistle sounds. Hull offside at the scrum.
Well, there was little doubt, was there? You could see there Paul Harrison really taking off very quickly indeed. Whether that's a little bit being pedantic, not in the referee's eyes, it's not.
Chris Rudd with the penalty, finds touch this time. Ellis. Harmon. Ellis again. That's good play. Cullen, good tackling. Great tackle from Gale. Mann, again, not getting away from the clutches of Scott Gale. Gale and Sharp this time.
Very impressed with the way that Warrington are using the different angles and the switches.
Mackey, good ball. Bateman. Ellis in support. Kenyon. This now is Myler. Good tackling again. Hull closed the gap down.
Watch for the kick.
Sanderson on the break. It's the last one. They're 30 metres out. There's the little chip over the top from Mackey. Eastwood, well, he waited and waited, and he must have heard Rick Thackeray steaming up behind him, and he kicked it dead.
Even so, I thought that Richard Gay took his time here. I think if he'd have accelerated a lot quicker, he could have taken that ball and taken it in field. It was left for Eastwood to clear the danger.
Well, 10 minutes of this match gone, 0-0, and Warrington denied what looked a perfectly good try early on, and you've hardly been able to draw breath. We haven't. Hope you have not been able to take your eyes off the screen. Hull with 3 wins from 3 matches, including a trip to Wigan. It was only their 3rd post-war win at Central Park. They've got off to a tremendous start. But Warrington taking the game to them here. They always perform well in front of the Sky cameras. Oh, that looked forward from Mann. He found Harman. The referee's getting some stick from the Boulevard crowd, Mike.
Oh, they always do, but I think on that occasion they might have been right.
This is Myler joining the line. That's great tackling, though. McNamara finished him off, and Gale again. Last tackle. What can Greg Mackey conjure up here? A little dab kick ahead again for Fuller to chase. That's good defence that time from Gay, though. No slouch then.
Oh, wonderful skills here by Mackey, and also equal to the task as a fullback Gay. Fearsome into that. He wasn't going to have anybody take that ball but himself.
Well, we thought this would be a forward battle early on. The Hull man there takes his eye off the ball. Warrington have it back with Ellis. Here's Sanderson.
Surely the message must go out from both coaches, Roy Simmons and Brian Johnson. Just take things easy a little bit. Don't panic.
Dwayne Mann held on then. He didn't panic as though the 3 closed in on him. Here's Harman and Myler. That's a great run from the fullback. Oh, brilliant try, Myler. Magnificent try. Absolutely brilliant. The fullback chimed into the line, took the pass, and left Richard Gay for dead.
The Stones bit of championship replay will show you what I was talking about. Ellis makes a switch through. Get the ball away, Mann gets it through, and the fullback Myler just skated through. That was a well-worked and good rehearsed move, and they fully deserved that. Watch the switch. I said earlier that they were using the angles very well indeed. Harman got the ball away, and you could see the fullback linking through, but he didn't just come in a straight line. He once again came on the angle. That stretched the defence, left it in disarray, and that is a great try, and fully deserved.
Robert Myler's 3rd try of the season. Rudd with the extra 2. We've had 13 minutes of this match, and Warrington ahead by 6 points to 0.
Watch how Ellis takes it away, and Harman. Now let's just hold it there. You can see, instead of the fullback running straight, he's running at an angle. That's where the gap came. That was a brilliant try.
Warrington off to quite a start then. 6-0. 14 minutes coming up on the clock. Cullen. 4 normally in the centres, made the transition quite easily to the forwards. Big, raw-boned, loose forward, taking over from the injured Mike Gregory, talking to Mike on his way here to Warrington tonight, seeing him out on the pitch. He hopes that he'll be back by Christmas, the former Great Britain skipper. We wish him well with this latest recovery. The try scorer, Myler, right down to the other end of the field to his opposite number, Gay. Hull back in possession, winners of the championship just once, 10 years ago.
That was a lovely kick and chase there. Myler really got some yardage on that one. And Warrington are really putting Hull on the rack.
Dixon's the dummy half. This is Dammit. Mann and Jackson close him down. John Sharp. The little run around. Nolan. It's Gary Nolan, the centre. Gale again with the kick. Oh, he's found some wonderful angles already, Scott Gale.
He gave himself plenty of room, selected the spot and the angle to perfection. But Warrington, their tackling has been exceptional. It's been a bit of a problem for their coach, Brian Johnson, so far this season. But they've certainly worked hard on that this week.
Well, Ellis just got that one. That now is Bateman, and that's another good run from the deep. Just releases the ball. Warrington managed to keep things going. Jackson, Cullen, the man who swept it up off the floor into Jackson's arms. Man again. Warrington just inside their own half. That's the last tackle. Mackey. Well, he knows every inch of this ground, Greg Mackey, and he found the line there with perfection.
Just another facet to this Australians' wonderful rugby league game. Nice kick through there. He's been involved in a lot of things.
Warrington with a ton of possession from those scrums.
But they certainly look a different side tonight, don't they, Eddie?
They do, and Greg Mackey, a man who played 95 times for Hull before his summer move back to Warrington in his second spell at Wilderspool now. He's been the key so far with his kicks. Hull know all about him. They'll obviously try and close him down, won't they?
Well, they've tried to, but he's using a bit of common sense and using the little kick. He knows that they're going to be for him.
It's a real battle, though, isn't it, between the two number sixes. Scott Gale has impressed already, too.
My word, we're just seeing the replay there. That really wasn't on. Steve McNamara, just a wasted chance. Hull really aren't hitting the panic button.
This now is Phil Sumner. That is the Hull 20. Oh, Dwayne Mann's clutching his knee there. He's got a problem. Cullen.
He caught a stray boot then, Eddie. He was running into the dummy half position and he caught a stray boot.
Sanderson felt the full weight of big number 8 Andy Dannett. Here's Mackey again. That little chip over the top. It's open them all. Well played. But oh no! Oh, he's given that one. He's given that try. It looked all the way that Rick Thackeray and Alan Bateman had made a bit of a mess of it. But the referee has given it.
Well, a Stone's bit of championship replay will show you that Mackey, beautiful chip over, regathers. I thought he'd taken the wrong option. Eastwood got his hands to it, lost it. Bateman's there. Now, did Bateman knock on? The referee says no. We'll see clearly here on the replay. We were saying the wonderful play of Mackey. Look at that. That was imperfection. That really wasn't on. He should have gone for a different option and got inside. But it was pretty hard to decide who knocked on there. The referee said it was Warrington that they did not knock on. but you have to marvel at this wonderful play. There to it. No, I think that looks quite fair to me. I thought the last man was Eastwood and Bateman in for a try, and what an opening for the Wires.
He's opened his try account. The replay showed absolutely correctly, and here it is again. The Bateman gets proper contact with ball and the ground. Good try. Rudd with the conversion attempt, and it's waved away by the touch judges. Warrington 10 points to nil ahead.
Well, we'll see, Mackie. Let's just stop it there. There's no one there, no sweeper. Mackie's intelligence saw it, and a try came off it. Good thinking by Mackie. He really has got a wonderful pair of brains, if there's more than one.
A pair of brains. Well, you give us one every week, Mike. That's today's.
I said it is more than one.
We're midway through this half, and Warrington off to a flyer. 10 points to nil, but they've given the ball away, and McNamara has it for Hull. Now, this is the first bit of danger that Hull have been able to exert on the Warrington line, and Warrington have been caught offside. Moving up too quickly before the ball was played.
Well, were they caught offside, or did they do it on purpose? It's a fine line these days. Rather than give away 6, we'll rush forward. We saw Jackson didn't want to make the rush through, but Phil Sumner went right through to it. And I often wonder if some of these professional players do it on purpose. It's pretty difficult for a referee on the spur of the moment. But John Connolly, quite adamant about it was offside, and he was right. But it does worry me sometimes that players move off, give away a gift 2 rather than a possible 6.
Well, that's where Warrington were caught offside, and so it's going to be Paul Eastwood. 12 goals already this season for Hull. Remember the way he kicked in that Melbourne test this summer. Took his time. Got a bit of stick from the crowd in Australia. Won't get any stick from this crowd here on Humberside tonight. But as you can see, whether he's in British colours or Hull colours, he takes his time. And Hull are off and running courtesy of the trusty left boot of Paul Eastwood. His 13th goal of the season. Hull 2, Warrington 10. Eastwood, a man needing just 1 try for the magical century of touchdowns for his club.
Well, the Hull side realise that as this game goes on, and I'm sure the Warrington players realise that they've got a big game coming up midweek in the Yorkshire Cup. And the longer Warrington can stretch them out on this rack, will the Hull players start worrying about that game rather than tonight?
Yes, they entertain Leeds in the tie of the round in the Yorkshire Cup. But knowing Roy Simmons, Mike, as you do, he would swap 2 league championship points for a place in the semi-finals of the Yorkshire Cup any day.
My word, all he has to do now is convince his players.
Nolan, the scrum half. That's Rob Nolan, former Great Britain Colt international. Dixon, under-21 international. Gale, the Australian. Another good deep kick. Myler has to collect inside his own 20-metre mark. That's good chasing, Hull. They've suddenly got the sniff of something, Hull, here. Off the mark with the penalty. And they're certainly showing a bit more vim and vigour now.
Lovely kick and chase there by Hull. They're pretty keen in defence. They've tightened that up this season.
Kenyon, the winger. Mann is the dummy half. Mackey. They know all about those little runs from Greg Mackey. That's good tackling. Dannett leading the way. It's the last one. Warrington haven't made too much ground. They do now with that towering kick. It's a great kick. And it's going to beat Richard Gay, is it? No, he managed to get a foot to it, keep it in, but look where he is. And here come the Warrington chasers. That's good play from Warrington.
Wonderful kick by Myler. But Richard Gay I think he did the right thing. Try to keep the game in. There's far too many of these players just allow it to go into touch for the scrum. Anything can happen to the scrum, especially these days.
Richard Gay holds full back. 14 tries for him last season. He was his club's joint top scorer. John Sharp now. Dixon. Was that ball played properly? Referee says it was, but he's got somebody, I think, for offside. It's Hull. Well, no, there it is. It's the play the ball, I think. The referee has said it wasn't played properly.
No doubt about it, it wasn't. But was he being impeded by Paul Cullen? No. He had all the time in the world to get up. They were too quick to get the ball away so that Gay could get it downfield.
John Sharp's not happy with it. He appeared there to play the advantage. When Hull kicked it downfield, he blew for the penalty.
Well, he was obviously waiting to see whether Warrington could charge down the kick. If so, they could have scored a try. Good refereeing, but a simple mistake. Hull will be kicking themselves over that. Schoolboy stuff.
That's the distance that Rudd has got to kick this penalty goal. Good kick. Warrington's lead goes back to 10 points. 12 points to 10. Chris Rudd, Cumbrian representative, leading try scorer for Warrington with 11 last season. He kicked 29 goals as well. He's got 2 more tonight. Hull restart. The gap again, 10 points. Cullen. Sharp the chaser, and Gale used as well.
Warrington have had all the possession. It seems like an eternity since Hull were down in the quarter. The only time they've been down there, they came away with just 2 points.
Oh, good driving run from the prop forward, Sumner. Dragging Warrington up the field. That was a forward pass, though. Ironic cheers from the Hull supporters.
Well, this could be the chance that Hull have been looking for. Here's a replay. It was a 50-50 ball, wasn't it? You could see, must have pretty exceptionally good eyesight.
Now then, can Hull produce anything here? That's a crunching tackle on the scrum half, Rob Nolan. Mighty is the dummy half.
Well, Mackey was coming in with a swinging arm then. And so was the loose forward, Paul Cullen. You saw the referee indicate above the shoulders.
Difficult to tell from behind the play, but the referee was right on the spot.
Well, if referees sorry, Eddie, if referees are consistent, I don't mind. And then maybe the players will understand that it's not worth taking the risk of trying to go anywhere above the shoulders or even near the shoulders.
Dwayne Mann leading the debate as to why that penalty was given. It is a penalty anyway, and it's going to be Eastwood again.
Warrington really have just blitzed Hull. They don't know what's hit them at the moment, and I'm sure Royce Simmons will be trying to correct all that in the half-time break, and they certainly need it because they really haven't strung anything together. Not once have they held on to the ball for the full 6 anywhere in the Warrington half.
Left-footed kicker, Paul Eastwood, who does take his time. Here it comes now, left-footed. Easy. Paul Eastwood's second successful penalty goal. Hull now have 4 points, but Warrington have 12. And 11 minutes to half-time. And a half-time I think that Roy Simmons, Mike, will be looking forward to, because he will no doubt have a right go at his players.
Well, they're not respecting the possession, and their very solid defence so far this season has been breached quite a couple of times, and it's been breached by using the little kick. And that's the influence of Greg Mackey, and maybe some of the whole crowd are wishing that perhaps Mackey hadn't have gone over the pennines.
Here's Dannett. Dannett tangling with Cullen, growling at the referee and growling at Cullen as well. Gale with the high kick. Oh, it's judged to perfection, but I don't think he really meant it by the look of that reaction.
No, you can see how it came off the side of his boot. It was swirling away. Had the lucky bounce. But once again, Hull into their very rare forays into the Warrington half. But can they keep him there?
Well, there's a real wheel on at that scrum, but Kevin Ellis picks it up.
Back off, Kevin.
Jackson now. Sanderson slipped there. There's the team tackle count. 58 to 48. Hull having to do a lot more work because Warrington's seen so much more of the ball. Jackson, captain of Warrington, pulled down by Dixon and McNamara. The last one. Mackey again. Gay will have to be quick. Bateman steaming up behind him, and with a bit of help from Rudd and Thackeray, Gay is brought down.
Wonderful play by the Hull fullback, Richard Gay there. He knew someone was steaming in on him. He knows he can hear them breathing. Look at the step. That's confidence, and that is skill. Well played.
Hull trying to get out of the danger zone. That's Andrew Mighty, who's come in off the wing. Not seen too much of him, have we? And that's Paul Harrison. And it's the last tackle, and Hull still deep in trouble. Gale, that's a better kick.
Well, it seems to be Hull's only option, doesn't it? Being in their own quarter and using the ball back for Scott Gale to kick deep. But full credit to Warrington, they keep charging over the halfway line.
There's Rick Thackeray, wearing 5 again for Warrington. Wore a wing jersey with such distinction for them. It's his second spell at Wilderspool. Career looked as though it was over because of injury, but he moved back from witness. This is Jackson, one of the best Aussie imports to come from down under and play in the British game, and he's leading his men by example tonight. Man, Mackey, and that was charged down by Gale, and who's coming up with it? Warrington are. The referee says it went back, and he's given Warrington 6 more. Sumner.
Well, Scott Gale just threw in a nice little right hook then on the blind side of the referee. But this whole defence, so strong at the start of this season, they're becoming hesitant. They don't know what's happening, and it's all because of one man, Greg Mackey. You'd think they'd know what he's doing, but they don't. He has them completely confused.
There he is again, the little dab ball forward. Rudd tried to keep it in, but the ball had already crossed the line when he slide tackled it down.
He's just got this whole defence mesmerised, is Greg Mackey. And if ever there is one way of beating a sliding defence, it's a little grubber kick through. And he's one of the masters at it. What a great game he's having.
We saw him, didn't we, in Illawarra during the summer, just playing a bit of a kickabout game, if you can call it that. And it was unsure what he was going to be doing, but Warrington pounced to bring him back. Scott Gale, meanwhile, being ticked off by the referee.
Yes, it was amazing. He turned out for a local side in a game just before the Illawarra versus Great Britain game, and he said, "Oh, I just love playing." He didn't even get paid for it.
Mighty is the dummy half. Cullen and Sanderson have him. Dixon now, trying to duck under. The mighty Atom. All square on the penalty count. Dixon again. McNamara.
Well, I fully expected Hull to use this big pack to try to forage their way through, but quite frankly, they're finding no way through this very strong defence, and I'm sure that the tactics will have to change in the second half. They'll have to start keeping hold of the ball and try to get the ball out wide.
5 minutes to half-time, Warrington with an 8-point advantage, and back in their own quarter line because of yet another kick downfield by Scott Gale. Harmon. Dayton leads with the disciplinary committee last night, sending off sufficient. He got his boots out of cold storage to play this evening. Myler hammers the ball downfield. Finds touch.
For such a slight man, he certainly has got a very strong boot, hasn't he? This is another amazing kick. Where Scott Gale is finding it difficult to get Warrington back into their own quarter, this man in your screen, Robert Myler, is finding it nearly every time. The pressure he's applying to Hull is tremendous.
John Sharp with the possession from the base of the scrum, scragged to the floor by Ellis, boos from the terraces, Gay with the ball. Good tackling, Rudd. Now Walker. Marlowe, 29 years old, a latecomer to rugby league from Rugby Union in Beverley, Welsh international now. And McNamara, Great Britain tourist going nowhere. It's the last tackle. The ball charged down by Mann, the kick ahead, and it's another try. The kick ahead from Nolan. Referee points to the spot. Nolan with the kick, charged down by Mann. Mann picked it up and said, "Thanks very much."
The Stones Bit of Championship replay. You'll see Nolan trying to get it away. Wonderful race there by Mann, the hooker. Chased it down. Rob Nolan just can't believe it. The hooker can. And this is the option that I'm afraid Hull have been left with all the first half. But that was good chase, good charge down by the Kiwi. Thank you very much indeed. Hull, they are in a very deep hole indeed. Marvellous play there. Full credit to the Kiwi. He was there to charge it down and got the just reward.
Dwayne Mann, his first try for the current campaign from the Glenora club in New Zealand. 95 appearances now for Warrington in 3 very successful years with the club. Chris Rodd will try and add the extra 2. Quick thinking that though by the hooker to charge down that clearing kick. And he was onto it like an express train, wasn't he? Said in that interview before the match he ought to be doing a bit more work. Rod's missed with the conversion attempt, but Warrington are in a very comfortable position as we approach half-time. Hull 4, 2 penalties, Warrington 16.
Hull certainly will need something very, very good and different in the second half. Scott Gale and Rob Nolan, they've had no opportunities to inject themselves into this game, and that's all because of this wonderful defence by Warrington.
Let's not forget, Mike, Martin Crompton's now with Wigan. David Lyon and Des Drummond staying away. Gary Mercer is at Leeds when his broken jaw is repaired. Brian Johnson's had to do a bit of work, and on this showing, they're not going to be such a bad force to be reckoned with after all.
Well, it's certainly an improvement from their opening stanza, isn't it? And I'm sure it would have bring a smile to Brian Johnson. But it's the way that they've gone about it. We mentioned earlier that running at different angles, they're sharing the work, and this man, again, is just crucifying Hull.
He's finding the gaps with those kicks. He's dragging his players down to cut the options out for Gay. And Mackie then with a bit of a swinging arm on Mighty.
Hull just don't know what to do.
They're really eager, Warrington, aren't they?
No, they don't know what to do. The game plan obviously was to use the forwards, and no one has changed it. We haven't seen Scott Gale or Rob Nolan inject themselves to do anything different.
Here's McNamara now. Last tackle as we enter stoppage time in this first half, and what a half it's been for the men from Wilderspool. Myler. The two Nolans try and bring him down. That's the last movement of this first half, and what a half it's been for Warrington, as I say. Dwayne Mann with that try towards the half-time interval. The third Warrington touchdown of this half. It's Hull 4 and Warrington 16. First half, Warrington, and they are first out for the second period, followed quickly by Hull. Boulevard looking well tonight. Some of the match facts from that first half. Hull with 78 tackles to Warrington 68. The scrums all square, penalties all square, handling errors about even, but Warrington have had 41% of the possession, Hull 36%. I know that doesn't add up to 100%. The rest is the time when the ball was out of play. Dwayne Mann with that try right on half-time that really has put Warrington in the box seat here. And Scott Gale, the Australian, no doubt will have had words of wisdom ringing in his ears from his coach Roy Simmons, Mike, as all the Hull players will have done.
Scott Gale really has to inject himself into this game. He hasn't done it in the first 40 minutes. In fact, all he's done and had the opportunity to do is actually kick the football.
Rob Nolan gets this second half underway, and Alan Bateman, first touch for the Welshman in this second half. Well, what do Hull do, Mike, to get themselves back into it?
Well, obviously they've got to try to do different tactics. They've realised in that first 40 minutes they cannot breach this very strong defence from Warrington down the middle. They've got to start using the kick that's been so efficient against them.
Sanderson stopped there by Dannett. That's a lovely little short ball from Mackie to Bateman. And it was good job that Eastwood and Walker were alert to that danger. Mann with the kick ahead. It came off a Hull player. Here's Gay now, who will pick up pace. Jackson, evergreen, 31 years old. Number 12 for Warrington, there he is, just running through your picture. Club captain this season. Marlowe, good tackling. Harmon upstairs, Cullen downstairs. Bang, he hit the deck. Sharp goes down under that challenge from Jackson and Dwayne Mann. Dannett now.
Well, that surprises me, Eddie. They've done exactly the same tactics which didn't come up in the first half. They had two forwards running either side.
It was Gale's kick again. Thackeray collects it. And then Nolan, that's Gary Nolan, and Walker wheel him in. Walker again. This time tackling Ellis. using his strength to find Dwayne Mann. This is better defence though from Hull, keeping Warrington penned in their own half this time. But what can Mackey conjure up here? Well, nothing. Bateman surrendered it to Eastwood. And luckily for Warrington, Mackey just got an arm out and ankle tapped Eastwood. Otherwise, he could have been under the posts. Hull in possession. Good stuff. That's Harrison trying to scramble to his feet. Jackson brings him down.
That's the first time Hull have had it pass through 5 pairs of hands.
Marlowe was looking for the runner coming up inside. There was no one there then. Here's Dannett again. Back to Nolan. Brother Gary is alongside him. Nolan, Gary Nolan at dummy half. On his own, Gary Nolan. Hull are just 12 metres short of the Warrington posts. Dixon, the dummy half, on his own. Dixon. That's a good little run from the hooker. It's the last tackle. Hull so close. Dannett, Nolan, Shah. Good tackling. Jackson the man again.
Oh, he spotted it well, didn't he? The Warrington skipper came in like a thunderbolt. He knew who was coming at him, and a great tackle.
Yes, for the new viewers to Sky Sports Big League, each team has 6 tackles to get over the opposition try line. If they don't, and the ball doesn't go out of play or doesn't go back to the opposition, it's turned over, as it was then and as it was accidentally here by Neil Kenyon. That's not in the rules, and now Hull have turned it over to them. That's not in the rules either, and it's not in the coaching manual. Someone's caught a bang in the throat.
Well, I don't know whether that was accidental, but someone caught a flying elbow. Oh, dearie me. That was impact, wasn't it?
Warrington in possession though, as the player receives treatment with Cullen. Trying to find out who it is on the floor. This is Ellis. Ellis just aims the ball to that corner flag. The Hull player still flat out and receiving treatment.
There's another kick from Mackey, driving yet another nail into the coffin.
It's Russ Walker who took the bang in the throat, and thankfully the lad is all right. Here it is again. Well, he got one right under the jaw, didn't he?
Well, there's no doubt about in my book that Neil Harmon protected himself from the man coming in, and Russ Walker ran straight into it.
Thankfully, Walker is all right. That's not the best ball in the world, though, from the base of the scrum, was it? Gay had to pick it up, and Cullen was snapping round his ankles. Another mistake from Hull. Sharp surrendering possession that time. And this is a catalogue of errors for Hull.
Well, you get the impression that Hull are living on their past glories.
They're living on the nerves, and this is Rudd. Rudd on his own, inside. And the ball's come free. And Walker, the man who was receiving attention a few moments ago, picks up the pieces.
Good tackle by Mighty, and it had to be because Rudd was in for a 4-pointer then.
Moving off the mark, crossing, obstruction.
You see clearly the man has to be behind him. The 2-man marker, one in front of the man playing the ball. They are allowed to have another one as long as he stands directly behind him and cannot move until the ball is played.
Penalty Hull. They will build again after all that excitement at their end. Well, remarkably, the handling errors on our stats are all square. Sharp stepped out of one tackle.
But surely Eddie Hull's got to start throwing this ball around. It's no good keeping it in the forwards. They just can't get through.
Gale, the dummy half. McNamara lifted off his feet by that challenge from Mackey. Whoop, that was a big hit.
the Tyro's having the game of his life.
Offside. Hull have got to allow the man in possession of the ball on the kick ahead 10 metres. And as you can see here, Ellis had about 4.
Well, referee John Connolly was shouting to the players, "You're offside." They took no notice. They contacted the player in possession of the football and had to give the penalty.
Rudd finds touch. Warrington will build again. Their forwards are running strongly though, aren't they?
Well, I expected them to be second best in the forward campaign, but they really have taken it to Hull. They've hit them with everything of Warrington, and it doesn't look as though they're going to get out of it. The front row of Warrington, Harman, Mann and Sumner, have played exceptionally well.
Warrington still ahead by 16 points to 4. And they're in possession, and that's the 30-metre mark. Ellis and Mackey. Bateman stepping through. He has support with him from Ellis again. That's the Warrington-Welsh connection. Dwayne Mann had dummy half on this, the last tackle. Mackey again. He's trying a drop goal attempt, and he's kicked it. Greg Mackey couldn't do that for Hull last year. Has done it this year, though, for Warrington.
Well, he's like Clint Eastwood. No one wants to come anywhere near him. Talk about a magnum. Unbelievable. He had all the time in the world. Hull are just completely blitzed with this guy. He's mesmerizing them out there.
"17 points to 4. And Dean Busby, number 15, has come on. And Steve McNamara has gone off. So can Dean Busby inject some life? Had a tremendous debut, you may remember if you were watching Sky Sports back in March 1991. He really did look a prospect.
Well, he's going to have to produce another great effort similar to that night, because Hull really are digging themselves deeper and deeper.
2 tries against Warrington in March for Dean Busby, but look at the tackling of Rudd and Mann on Richard Gay.
Crunch time, come to daddy. They're throwing him down with Gay abandon.
Hull have topped the century mark in terms of tackling. And there's Busby. Bulked up a bit since we saw him on that debut in March 91. Dannett picks himself up. It's the last tackle. Offside against Warrington. Again, ironic cheers all round this ground as referee Connolly gives Hull a penalty.
Well, the little Tyro, Greg Mackey, just sneaked up there, trying to force the kick. That's been the success of their defensive pattern, Warrington. They've pushed in out wide very quickly.
Substitution for Hull is number 14, Craig O'Donnell, coming on. He's replacing Paul Harris, and Craig O'Donnell, talented teenager, has already impressed so far this season.
Yes, signed from the Hull Boys Amateurs in July last year. Came on as a sub and scored a try against Wigan a couple of weeks ago. So can he do the trick here now against Warrington? This is Busby. And Busby had the ball knocked out of his hands in that tackle. And so Warrington are able to bring the ball downfield.
Well, Brian Johnson, as I said earlier, were very, very upset with the way that the Warrington side so far this season, up until tonight, had been tackling, especially in the forwards. But they've given some crunch hits tonight.
Ellis shows it one way. Mackey, the dummy half. Back to Ellis. Becoming quite a combination. Ellis and Mackey. Gay for Hull. Can't get away from Bateman. And Mackey had moved up as well.
Do you know, Eddie, it's a long time since, I'd say many years now, since I've seen a half-back combination just taken over so much by Mackey and Ellis. You just have not seen Gale and Nolan at all.
Ball's come out. Sumner's dropped on it. It's a real dump, that, isn't it? Maybe he's picked up a knock on the shoulder. He's only just on, Craig O'Donnell.
Well, is it looking for a Spears tackle? Well, it's pretty close to it. Oh, it's so dangerous, things like that.
Craig O'Donnell only been on, as I say, a matter of moments. And he picked up a nasty bang there.
It really has been a feature, Eddie, the Warrington tackling. The forwards, well, they've just improved 200% from last week's performance.
Phil Sumner packing down. Mackey, Bateman and Thackeray. Mann dragging Warrington towards the Hull 20 again. Bateman, the dummy half. Mackey just manages to cling on. And Sanderson was coming up in support. Mackey, though, just couldn't release the pass. Elected rightly to cling on. Here's Jackson.
Warrington are just making a mockery of this defensive line. They're getting across that advantage line with ease.
Mackey again. Rudd with the call. That's the last tackle. Mackey once more. Inside. Warrington are going to run it. Sanderson. He finds Bateman. Bateman to Thackeray. Thackeray to Mann. Mann through the legs. Oh, they managed to keep it going brilliantly. Ellis dabs the ball forward. It's a race between Ellis and also the winger, Kenyon. And Kenyon has touched down for a quite breathtaking score here. Ellis saw the defence had moved out, saw the gap, and invited Kenyon to chase, and he did.
While the whole defence was having a Stones Bitter Championship replay, you'll see here, they've kept the ball alive. Man through the legs. Oh, this is just making a mockery of the whole defence now. Keeping the ball alive. Ellis knows that the sliding defence has come in. Hull are always there. Look at Mighty. That's what we call a sliding defence that's gone wrong. But not for that guy. Neil Kenyon, a great try. Well thought out there by the little halfback Ellis. The sliding defence, as I've mentioned so many times, can be caught out by the kick, and that is the result. Great try. He was denied one in the first half, but not this time.
Kenyon with the try. 10 in 17 games last season. Now he's got 2 for this season, 1992 and 93. Rudd with the conversion attempt, he misses, but Warrington look as though they might have this match in their pocket already. 56 minutes of this match gone. Delight from Neil Kenyon. Saw the opening. Ellis with the little chip forward, and Kenyon raced onto it gleefully and touchdown. Well, a real upset of the form book, this. Steve-O, remember, before the match, picked Hull as narrow victors. Our computer picked Warrington as narrow victors.
I bow down to the computer. They've certainly got it right, and so have Warrington. This has been a tremendous performance. A wonderful team effort led by Mackey.
They're pulled back then, though, for a forward pass. Cullen was motoring up in support.
Well, they're getting overconfident now. They're just trying to keep the ball alive. They know that they've got this game there. No way in the world Alan Bateman could have got that ball. They were virtually running into each other.
I think, you know, that Warrington have only ever lost in front of our cameras once. That was on Easter Monday against Wigan last year.
Well, we mentioned, didn't we, that they always seem to get an extra leg. Well, they seem to appear to have found another four.
That's Andrew Mighty. Hull trying to rescue something from this with Busby. And the referee has pulled Warrington out for a head-high tackle. Well, anything above the shoulder now gets penalised.
Well, that was Jackson coming in, swinging left arm. He looks at the referee, but Busby caught it fair and square.
Now, can Hull give their supporters something to cheer about with Dannett here? Right in front of the sticks. Dixon's the dummy half. Straight into the battle chest of that Warrington defence. Nolan looking for the opening. Sharp! Oh, he almost managed to get over. Just lost his footing at the wrong moment and then gives it away. Played the ball with no one behind him.
Well, that just sums it up. He should have got up off the ground. Played it back. The Hull just stood there. That just sums it up. Hull's night. They've been woeful, and they know it.
Well, Hull running on empty at the minute and having to do a lot of work in the tackling department. Doesn't sound much, 13 extra tackling stints, but that's 3 sets of 6 almost, isn't it?
But apart from that, the Hull side have been made to go backwards all the time. They've had to be running backwards, scrambling defence, and eventually that takes it out of you. Heavy tackle there on Ellis. Ball coming to clear. Scrum is formed.
Knock-on's the decision. Hull with head and feed. Hull with possession and with Gale. Now with Nolan. And the other Nolan, Gary. Good tackle, Bateman. Injured at home, Alan Bateman missed the opening day of the season. And they're all over Busby and forcing him back. Such is the ferocity of this Warrington defence tonight.
Well, you think it was a Wembley Cup final or a semi-final away. They've got a handy lead. They know they've got the 2 points, and they're tackling like that.
Well, they have the 2 points with play like that. There's plenty of time for Hull to come back in this if they can just sort themselves out. But Rob Nolan pulled down by Dwayne Mann. Just an hour of this match gone, 20 minutes to go. Warrington firmly in command. High kick and almost has snow on it. Myler got to it. Gale got to it. And Kenyon, running back, just managed to hack the ball dead. And the referee says, despite the fact that he claims he was impeded as he kicked that, it would be a drop out under the sticks.
Well, Robert Myler, in my book, was taken out with the shoulder of Richard Gay first. Scott Gale pushed it through. But good work there by the right winger, Neil Kenyon. He'd come over right round the back to support the full back. That is good positional play.
Another fumble, this time from Gary Nolan. Let's just put this result, if it stays as a victory, into perspective for you. Warrington have only won here 3 times on 14 previous attempts. The referee has given Hull a penalty meanwhile for this.
Well, it was a lot closer than me. Did the ball, was it reefed out? Yeah, well, it looked that way. Is in the sin bin for that. Sent to the bin by referee Connolly.
So Warrington ahead 21-4. They have to play on now with 12 men for 10 minutes. Cullen deemed to have committed the professional foul. Can Hull expose something here with Busby? Turns the ball back inside. Jackson and Mann have worked overtime tonight. Dixon again. Now Gale. This is Gay. Gay's got his captain Walker alongside him. He's got Bateman and Ellis to get through first. There's Walker at dummy half. It's the last tackle. Gale will dribble the ball forward. Gale looking for the touchdown. Myler picks it up on his own line. Good defence.
Neat little kick here from Gale. But once again, wonderful defence by Robert Myler. He was well in position there. Look how he picked that ball up right on the goal line.
Yes, Gary Nolan was sniffing there for a 4-pointer for Hull that would bring them back into this match. Jackson in possession for Warrington. What a good game he's had too. Mackey certainly been the star, but Jackson has worked tirelessly for his team. Last tackle, Warrington still in their own quarter. Another big kick from Myler, but straight this time down the throat of Gay. It's been an excellent all-round team effort, this, from Warrington, though, Mike.
Wonderful display. I'm just wondering now whether Hull can put together at least 4 or 5 passes.
Well, the crowd is getting frustrated. They're beginning to give the black and whites a bit of stick here. They're all plodding behind the play. No one looks eager. Warrington, meanwhile, are on their toes. They'll have to be here to keep Hull at bay. That was O'Donnell. This now is the big prop forward, Marlowe. It's the last one on this set of 6. Here's Gale. Here's Chip and Chase. It bounces kindly for Busby. Busby all the way in the corner. Try. A lovely chip over the top. It bounced very kindly for Hull, and Busby picked up and touchdown.
The Stones Bit of Championship relay suddenly shows that Hull have decided to copy Warrington and use a little kick. But it's midway through the second half before they realise it, and it is far too late. Good play though. Nice little chip kick. It's something that they should have been doing a long time ago. Full credit to Busby. He supported, he had the strength, he carries the ball in the right hand so that the left hand can fend, and that's a good try.
Touch judge nodded his head. Referee awarded the try, and Dean Busby, well, has he given Hull hope that they can claw this match back? Eastwood with a 100% kicking record. This is his most difficult. 3-4 metres in from touch on this near side. He's a left-footed kicker. It's on the right side for him. He's got the direction. It just moved away. So Hull have to be content with the 4 points. Look at the reaction from Busby. Delighted, but has the effort come too late?
Well, it's always a delight for a substitute to come on and score a try, to keep him there in the eyes of the coach. And I'm sure that Roy Simmons will be looking at making a few changes, especially on this performance tonight.
21-8, Warrington are ahead. If it would have been under the sticks, that could have been very interesting. McNamara's come back on, and Dannett, I believe, has gone off. Well, Dannett was certainly the workhorse of the pack. There's McNamara, though. He's come on and replaced him.
But it's so obvious, Eddie, to watch the whole play, apart from the little forays from this Mike Dixon, he's worked hard, that's for sure. But really, they've had no link, they've had no real idea out there.
Well, can they get a bit of a link here with Gay? The ball over the top to Busby. Mighty was off on his way then before the ball reached him. And because of that, he dropped it, and Kenyon has it back for Warrington.
Well, one of the few times that they've got the ball out wide. In fact, I think that's the first time that Mighty has actually received a pass, and he dropped.
This is Harman for Warrington. 21-8. Warrington lead. Sumner pulled down by Dixon, flattened by Marlowe. Here's Sanderson, strong running.
It's been a great effort from the Warrington pack. They really have formed that springboard for the three-quarter line.
Mackey's given that one plenty of air, one for Kenyon to chase again, but Richard Gay has picked it up, and he can move too. But all the Warrington players moved across there to cover the danger. Well, Busby's come off the bench, and he's made a difference. McNamara now. John Sharp's in a dummy half. Here's Marlowe. Oh, gives it straight to Sumner. Sumner on a run. Man in support. Maybe Sumner won't need him. He's got Thackeray there too. The strength of the prop forward. Oh, is that a try? Has the referee given it? Warrington are celebrating, and the referee has given it. He says the ball wasn't grounded, and that Sumner's momentum took him over the line, and he touched down. Brilliant try from the prop. Such strength.
Stones Better Championship replay. What a great game this guy's had. McNamara got the ball away. Sumner was there. Now this is from a standing start. That was a woeful attempted tackle. Off they go. He's just beaten one. He just pushes the other one away. Carrying the ball in the right one. In he goes. The momentum slides. That is a fair try. He did not move his arm. His progress was not stopped. Look at the strength of this man go. He's had a big game. Look at that fend off there. That really was good stuff. Get out of the way, no one, he says, and in for a try, and well deserved. And didn't he enjoy it?
It was only his second try in professional rugby league. Phil Sumner, the man has come up through the junior ranks, formerly with Wigan St Patrick's Amateurs. The amateur club we featured on Boots and All on Monday night. Great to see a big prop forward bustling his way through like that. And Sumner came up trumps. Rudd with the extra two. Brilliant kick. Phil Sumner's tries turned into a six-pointer by the boot of Chris Rudd. 27 points to 8. A famous victory again for Warrington up here on Humberside. Paul Harrison has returned. Number 4, Paul Eastwood is still on, and it's Gary Nolan who's gone off.
It's a long time since I've seen a whole side so clinically opened up by a very, very talented side indeed. The Warrington forwards, the pack have worked tirelessly, made the half break. The three quarters have done the rest.
That was man's break. It was helped on by Harman, and this is Myler on halfway. It's now with Ellis and Mackey. Mackey saw a little gap, tried to run straight through O'Donnell. Ellis, Jackson. Last one, that was. Jackson took a bang, winded. Mackey, well, he had all the time in the world then to pick his spot. Richard Gay for Hull. Eastwood now.
It really has been the untouchable Greg Mackey tonight. Hull have had no answer to him at all. The maestro has waved the magic wand and he's got the result.
Double substitution for Warrington on the way. Let's hear about it from Peter.
It's going to be like a triple substitution. Paul Cullen's warming up to come back on after his spell in the sin bin. The two subs themselves will be on for Jackson and Thackeray. So Mark Forster and Basil Richards coming on, Bob Jackson and Rick Thackeray coming off.
Yeah, let's not forget that while all this has been going on, Warrington have been down to 12 men. Cullen's been in the bin. I've almost forgotten that.
Well, on this performance from Hull, Warrington should have had 7 men. Maybe you could have got a better game, because that's how it's looked. They have totally controlled this from start to finish. There's a punch in the back. Well, there was a punch.
Jackson. Referee has pulled out another high tackle. All the players this season, Mike, are shaking their heads at this rule. Anything above shoulder level these days is penalised.
As I mentioned before, as long as the referees are consistent, it won't take long for these players to realise that a penalty will be forthcoming if they even attempt it.
Well, a penalty's been forthcoming for Warrington. Meanwhile, I think the referee saw that Paul Harrison had swung a punch in the tackle, pulled him out and had a word. Meanwhile, the substitutions have been made by Warrington. Forster's on, Richards is on, Bob Jackson's done a marvellous job. There's the punch. Paul Harrison. It's a penalty anyway. It's the 5th Warrington penalty, and it's going to be an attempt by Chris Rudd. Here comes the penalty from Rudd. It has the height, and it has the distance, and it has the direction. And Chris Rudd is proving what a good goal kicker he is here tonight. So Warrington increased the lead still further. 29 points to 8. We're entering the last 5 minutes of this match. Bob Jackson's gone off, so too has Rick Thackeray. Basil Richards and Mark Forster have come on. So Warrington now will play out with this 13 who's on the field. Paul Cullen's back off the bench, and they fell in the sin bin. And a very delighted Warrington captain, no doubt, Bob Jackson, is talking now with Peter Hutton.
Bob, just seems everything's gone right for Warrington today.
That's right. We had more respect this week for our opposition. You know, we played a couple of supposedly lower sides the last 2 weeks, and we had no respect, and we got embarrassed. You know, and I was embarrassed for the team, and I was embarrassed for the supporters. But we come up here, we knew we had a job to do, and we played with a lot more pride. And like I said, we had more respect for this side, and we played with a lot more pride and commitment, and we dominated in the forwards, and that's what's paved the way for a good win.
As you say, the forwards have done well, but also dominant have been the 2 half-backs who do seem to be combining well, giving you a lot more options.
I mean, they're both very good players, but the forwards have got to go forward, you know. You've got to make yardage for them to have a bit more room, you know. I mean, it's just been a very good team performance today.
Also proves the quality you've got here at Warrington. You said to me pre-season you reckon you've got a good side here. It seems to have proved it a bit today.
Yeah, mate, we've got some great young players. I've always said that, and they keep coming through. I mean, it's just they've got to believe in themselves a little bit more and feel a little bit more positive in their attitude. And I don't know, for some reason, maybe because I've been a bit of a fixture at Warrington over the years, you know, they seem to take a bit more heart. I don't think I'm any more better player than anyone else in the forwards, but I think they got a bit more respect for me. I don't know, you know, but like I said, they all work and they all help, you know. So I'm very proud of them today.
Just finally, we heard from Roy Simmons before the game saying he always enjoys a drink with you. Are you going to rub it in a bit tonight?
Mate, if I can keep up with him, I'm a very good man, I'll tell you.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Bob Jackson in good form, both on the field and off it. And I'm sure that he'll be going looking for Mr. Simmons tonight and just saying, well, you're in England now, old boy. You've got something to do.
Well, Bob Jackson certainly left no doubt where Roy Simmons would be at the bar.
It's been an excellent show, though, by Warrington, hasn't it? From first whistle, they have dominated. They've been inventive, they've been creative, they've been brave. Their forwards have got on top of the whole pack completely, as Bob Jackson so rightly said. And it's a testament really to the way that the team has played that only now, with 6 minutes to go, have we seen Brian Johnson caring to make the substitutions.
Well, that's a reward for the players that he already had on the pitch, because they really have put it on tonight, haven't they? They're well balanced. The forwards, as we keep mentioning, have just laid that foundation. The kicking of Greg Mackey, the combination he has with Kevin Ellis, and I think that we may be seeing a little bit of a dark horse, perhaps, for the trophies this season.
Well, they finished fourth. They've acquired Greg Mackey. They've lost Mercer. They've lost Lyon and Drummond for different reasons, and they've lost Crompton to Wigan. But it's a fine team performance that they have produced here tonight. Gay collects the ball behind his own goal line and is clobbered. They might be so far ahead, but they're still showing enthusiasm, Warrington.
Well, they're still showing the ideas, and that's the important thing about it. Hull have just been lackluster tonight, but their ideas, they just have not shown many at all. It's taken them a long time to realise that they've been caught out with this kicking game by the Warrington side. And it was far too late when they opted for that kicking game themselves. The game was well and truly won by Warrington.
Forster fancies a run. Over 200 appearances for Warrington. Mark Forster, his only club. 90 seconds of normal time remain. Warrington well in control by 29 points. To 8. Here's Sumner. Still going strong. That try will really have boosted that young man's confidence. What a try it was. Mackey again with a little grubber kick forward. Gay picks it up through Ellis, couldn't get through Cullen. It'll be a great confidence booster, this, for Warrington.
Not only for Warrington, but also for Leeds midweek in that Yorkshire Cup. This certainly shouldn't put any fear to the people at the Leeds camp.
Dixon's the dummy half. We're in the last minute of normal time. It's whatever the referee and timekeepers will add on. Whoops. Myler just missed that.
Well, on this performance, Warrington will want it to go on for another 20 minutes. Hull, they're just looking for that final whistle. Please, they're saying. This is a game that they will want to forget.
Talking to Brian Johnson in the week, he said that he saw one or two good things from the defeat at Oldham, if there could possibly be any good things from a defeat. He certainly will see plenty of good things from this video when he looks back at it this week. 29-8, they're ahead. It really has been a tousing for Hull, and we're in stoppage time. And what's more, Hull are coming forward themselves. Mighty is in support, and are Hull going to have the last word here? Yes, they are. Mighty, at last, uses his speed, uses his pace. Little smile from Mighty. It's a lost cause, but they will have the lasting memory of this match.
Well, as you mentioned, Eddie, Hull are about to take the little bit of glory, but it won't do them any good. Mighty gets up on the inside. A little bit lackluster there, the Warrington defence. One of the few times they've been caught out wide, and to be fair to them, one of the few times that the ball has actually gone out wide. You'll see the ball come back inside here. Good handoff there. Harrison, who came on late, of course, had a little bit of a rest on the sideline, but showed a bit of speed, and Mighty backed up well. But it's poor consolation, I'm afraid.
Formerly with Fulham, Andrew Mighty in London. Try on this ground on his debut against Lee when he eventually pulled on the Hull jersey for the first time. Eastwood adds the extra 2. There's the final siren. The match is all over. It's been a great night for Warrington. It's been a poor night for Hull. They've been given an abject lesson, Roy Simmons, their coach, in how to take a game by the scruff of its neck. And Greg Mackey has produced an excellent show here for Warrington against the club that he graced, of course, for 3 years. So Mackey and Warrington win. We'll analyse the victory after these.